Hola, ¿qué tal? Here are your notes on informal commands or mandatos. That's how you say commands in Spanish. These are informal, meaning that you're using them when you're talking to one person that you know well, so they're tu commands, and they're positive. This PowerPoint was not made by me. It was made by Barbara Range, who was a student teacher we had at Warren a couple years ago. In English, let's connect them to what we know in English. We tell people to do things all the time. Text me, come on over here. We also get told to do things all the time. Do your homework, eat your peas. But notice how it's different than just saying, you eat your peas today, or you are eating your peas. Those two are statements and or observations. They're not commands. So you're going to conjugate your verbs a little bit differently. Affirmative to commands, telling someone what to do. Remember, if I'm talking too fast, go ahead and feel free to pause the video. And if you get confused at some point, be sure that you circle it, jot it, write down a question so we can go over it in class. To form your affirmative commands, here's what you do. You put the verb in the to form, and you drop the S. For reals, yo, it's that easy. For example, we want to say the command wash the dishes. So our infinitive is lavar. Put it in the to form lavas. Take off the S, lava. That's your command, lava. What do you want to wash? Lava los platos. Notice that there's accent or exclamation points. Those are just to provide emphasis. Let's practice a little bit more. The first one, we want to say the command sweep the floor. The infinitive barrer. Put in the to form. Barres. Take off the S. Barre. So your command is barre el suelo. Try this one now. We want to say bring the gift. Here's your infinitive. Work through it. Pause the video if you need to. Good. The to form is traes, minus the S, trae, gives the command trae el regalo. Fantastic. I do want to make a note that we're not going to do negative commands yet, such as don't bring the gift or don't sweep the floor. They're formed differently than putting the verb in the to form and dropping the S. So, right now, we're just going to stick with the affirmatives or the positive ones. Ay, 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 más irregulares. There are some irregulars here. The irregular of decir is di. The irregular of hacer, haz. The irregular of poner, pon. Salir, sal. Tener, ten. Venir, ven. Ir, ve. Ser, se. And notice that se has an accent. Remember that decir is to say or to tell. Hacer is to make or to do. Poner is to put or to place. Salir is to leave. Tener is to have, and that's followed by a noun. Venir is to come to a place. Ir is to go, and ser is to be, as in characteristics. So what do all these have in common? If you look at them, the yo forms are irregular when you conjugate them. Most of these 8 are yo-goes. Digo, hago, pongo. Salgo, tengo, vengo. That's going to help you maybe remember 6 of the 8. The other 2 don't follow the yo-go pattern, but ve and se or ir and ser, the infinitives, are still irregular in the yo form. So that's the first way that you can remember that these are irregular. The second way is with a song, una canción. You sing this to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and you mix them up a little bit. Di, as, pon, y sal, ven, ten, ve, y se. These are irregular 2 commands. Learn them right away. Don't you worry, you'll be able to sing that in class with me soon too. So that's the second way you can remember it if you're an auditory learner. Di, as, pon, y sal, ven, ten, ve, y se. These are irregular 2 commands. Learn them right away. The third way is with another mnemonic device. So we have this actor here, Vin Diesel, and we're going to pretend that someone who has an accent, who lives further north than us, probably near where my parents live in northern Wisconsin, is going to be saying something like this. Vin Diesel as ten fe ponce? Vin Diesel as ten fe ponce? You've got your irregulars. Vin Diesel as ten weapons, eh? That might be helpful, or it just might be silly. Either way, it's another mnemonic device or another auditory device that might help you remember your 8 irregular affirmative to commands. There is practice before we get to the direct object pronoun section. I want you to make sure that you complete that before you come to class tomorrow. On the back side of your notes, you have direct object pronoun notes. You can also use direct object pronouns with commands as well. Úsalos, use them. The direct object pronouns that we've learned previously, mete, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las, remember that they answer the question who or what receives the action. So in the command úsalos, los is the direct object pronoun, and I'm giving you the command use them. In order to use a direct object pronoun with a command, all you do is attach the pronoun to the end of the command. It becomes a whole new word and it's longer. Cierra la ventana is a perfectly good command, but when you use it with a direct object pronoun, it becomes ciérrala. Cierra is the command, add la. Remember that you use la instead of la ventana because you're replacing la ventana. Similarly, pon la mesa becomes ponla. Then you could leave in this adverb explaining when you'd like it done, ahora, now. That's fine, that's not affected. This does pose a little bit of another issue though, because then you have to add a command or add a accent mark. If you attach a pronoun to a command of 2 or more syllables, like in úsalos, úsalos is usa, los, 3 syllables, you have to have an accent. You add an accent on the third to the last syllable. So in Spanish, you don't count this way, 1, 2, 3. Nope, you actually count the other way. 3, 2, 1. The opposite way. 3, 2, 1. So you count backwards. That's why the accent is here. Úsalos. There's a couple of them on the bottom of your notes that I'd like to go over. Barrer el suelo. So take a look at what it's changed to. Barrelo. Then you count backwards from the lo, re, and ba. So the accent goes on the first vowel. So you've got 1, 2, 3. You count your vowels from the end. The accent goes on the third from the last when there's 2 or more syllables. The next one, lava los platos, becomes lavalos. So count backwards. Los, va, la. All we're doing is we're counting our vowels. So the accent goes perfect on the first A, lavalos. Try, ábrelo, and tráelo. Or ábrela, I'm sorry. Bien, it goes on the first one. What about traerlo? Tráelo. Excellent. Even though there's vowels right next to each other, it still has to go on the third vowel right here. The last one that you have on there is a poner command. Be sure you can come to class tomorrow and tell me why that one does not need an accent. Other than the practice with the regular commands, don't worry about the other practice in there. We'll get to it tomorrow. Adios.